the Black. Even after 200 years, it resonates so deeply because it tackles the eternal human desires for ambition, wealth, and social mobility. Julien Sorel's fierce drive to climb the social ladder, despite his humble origins, is a struggle many can still relate to. His complex love affairs, driven by both genuine passion and strategic calculation, unveil timeless human emotions and societal pressures. Stendhal's brilliant psychological insights make this story incredibly relevant even today. It's a profound exploration of human nature that truly transcends time. Okay, let's talk about the author, Stendhal. His real name was Betrayals, but he is famously known by his pen name. He was a fascinating character who lived through tumultuous times in 19th century France. Stendhal was a keen observer of human psychology and society. He served in Napoleon's army, which deeply influenced his understanding of ambition and the changing social landscape, much like his protagonist Julien Sorel. Stendhal was known for his analytical and often cynical view of his contemporaries. He valued truth and sincerity above all else, often feeling like an outsider in the society he observed so closely. This perspective is evident in his writing, where he delves into the inner lives of his characters with incredible depth. He's even considered a pioneer of psychological realism. His own experiences and sharp intellect truly shaped the masterpiece that is The Red and the Black. Alright, let's dive into the historical backdrop of The Red and the Black. The novel is set during a truly fascinating and turbulent period in 19th century France, specifically the Bourbon Restoration. Imagine this: Napoleon Bonaparte, who rose from humble beginnings to become an emperor, had fallen from power. In his mind, the ideals of the French Revolution, where talent and merit could lead to greatness, were being suppressed. The monarchy was restored, with kings, aristocrats, and the clergy regaining their influence. This was a direct contrast to the Napoleonic era, where someone like Napoleon himself, a commoner, could become a powerful leader simply through his abilities. So, Julien Sorel's world is one where the old class system is trying to reassert itself, making it incredibly difficult for someone from a poor background to rise. However, the spirit of the revolution and the memory of Napoleon's meritocracy still linger, fueling the ambitions of young men like Julien. The novel beautifully captures this tension between the old order and the aspirations for a new one, foreshadowing the July Revolution that would eventually overthrow the Bourbon monarchy again. This clash of old and new is absolutely essential to understanding Julien's struggles and choices. Alright, let's uncover the powerful symbolism behind the title of the novel, The Red and the Black. These two colors aren't just decorative, they represent the two main paths a young ambitious man like Julien Sorel could take to achieve success in the Bourbon Restoration era. Red is often associated with the military, with the uniforms and the glory of battle. It evokes the Napoleonic era, a time when a commoner like Napoleon himself could rise to immense power through military genius and ambition. For Julien, red represents the path of action, heroism, and rapid social ascent through military prowess, a path that was largely closed off to him in his time. He idolizes Napoleon and longs for that kind of glory. On the other hand, black symbolizes the church, the clergy. In the post-Napoleonic era, with the military path less accessible for those without aristocratic connections, the church offered an alternative route for ambitious young men from humble backgrounds to climb the social ladder. It represented a path of intellectual effort, but also of hypocrisy and conservatism. Julien adopts this path by entering the seminary and later becoming a secretary to a marquis, donning the black attire of these professions. So, the title The Red and the Black perfectly encapsulates Julien's dilemma and the conflicting forces within him, the fiery, passionate and Napoleonic ambition versus the pragmatic, calculating ecclesiastical path to power. It's a brilliant way to retend how illustrates the choices and limitations faced by his protagonist in a society still grappling with the echoes of revolution and the return of old hierarchies. Alright, now let's talk about the absolute heart of the red and the black, our protagonist, Julien Sorel. Julien Sorel is no ordinary young man. He is the son of a humble sawmiller, born into poverty in a small provincial town. But from this modest beginning, he harbors an extraordinary, almost burning ambition to rise above his social station. He absolutely detests his lower class background and the limitations it imposes on him. In an era where the old aristocracy was regaining power, the traditional paths for upward mobility were largely closed to someone like him. Yet, Julien refuses to accept his fate. He's incredibly intelligent, with a prodigious memory, and he sees intellectual pursuits and social connections as his only way out. He dreams of glory, not unlike his idol, Napoleon Bonaparte, who proved that merit could overcome birth. His ambition isn't just about wealth or status, it's deeply intertwined with a strong sense of pride and a simmering resentment towards the privileged classes. This fierce determination to prove himself, to conquer the world that scorns him, is what drives every single one of his actions throughout the novel. It's absolutely captivating. Okay, let's delve deeper into what makes Julien Sorel such a formidable and captivating character. Beyond his burning ambition, Julien possesses two incredibly powerful weapons that he uses to navigate the treacherous social landscape of 19th century France: his extraordinary memory and his striking good looks. First, his memory. Julien has an almost photographic memory, which he cultivates assiduously. He can practically recite entire passages of the Bible and works by Horace by heart. This intellectual prowess allows him to excel academically, particularly in the seminary, and impress influential figures. It's not just about rote memorization, it's a testament to his sharp mind and his discipline, which he leverages to appear more educated and refined than his background suggests. It truly sets him apart from his peers and opens doors that would otherwise remain closed. Second, his beauty. Julien is described as having a delicate, almost feminine beauty, with intelligent eyes and a certain charm that is irresistible to women. His physical attractiveness, combined with his intense gaze and brooding demeanor, makes him incredibly alluring. While his ambition is the primary driver, his good looks are an undeniable asset in his social climb, particularly in his relationships with both Madame d'Arnaud and Mathilde Guillemot. He might be from a humble background, but his appearance allows him to move in high circles and capture the hearts of women above his station. So, Julien's weapons of memory and beauty are not mere superficial traits, they are crucial instruments in his strategic pursuit of power and recognition. Thank you for your comment, Ryojo-senpai. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for your comment, Ryojo-senpai-san. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for your comment, Ryojo-senpai-san. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Thank you for your comment, Ryojo-senpai-san. I'm glad you're enjoying the stream. Oh, let's talk about Napoleon Bonaparte, the ultimate hero for our dear Julien Sorel. Napoleon was this incredible figure who rose from humble origins to become Emperor of France. For Julien, who was born into poverty, Napoleon represented the absolute epitome of what a man could achieve through sheer talent, ambition and will, regardless of his birth. 野獣先輩さん、ありがとうございます。とっても嬉しいです。皆さんの応援があると、私、もっともっと頑張れます。今日も全力で赤と黒の魅力を皆さんにお届けしますね。野獣先輩さん、いつも温かい応援、本当にありがとうございます。皆さんの頑張ってという声を聞くと、私、胸の奥から熱いものがこみ上げてきて、力がみなぎってくるんです。まるで本の中の主人公が困難に立ち向かう時に勇気をもらうみたい。ライブ配信って皆さんと一緒に一つの空間を作り上げているんだなって改めて感じられてすごく嬉しいんです。野獣先輩さん、ありがとうございます。野獣先輩さんからのそんな情熱的な言葉、私とっても嬉しいです。私、野獣先輩さんのこと大好きですよ。野獣先輩さんからの大好きという言葉、本当にありがとうございます。そう言っていただけると、私、もう力がみなぎってきて、配信への情熱がさらに燃え上がっちゃいます。皆さんの温かい言葉一つ一つが、私にとって本当に大きなエネルギーなんです。本の世界の素晴らしさを皆さんにお伝えするこの活動が、こうして皆さんに大好きって言ってもらえるなんて、最高に幸せですよ。野獣先輩さん、コメントありがとうございます。そうなんですね、ご自身のセクシー。Alright everyone. I'm truly touched by your strong feelings and enthusiasm. It means the world to me to have such dedicated viewers like you on my stream, and your support really motivates me. Thank you so much for your wonderful words. I'll keep doing my best to share all the amazing books with everyone. Oh, your words of passion and dedication truly light up my virtual studio. It's like finding a hidden gem in a classic novel, utterly delightful and inspiring. This kind of connection with all of you, my wonderful viewers, is what makes these live streams so special to me. It's similar to how a character in a book might find strength and purpose through the words of another. Your enthusiasm fuels my own passion for sharing the magic of literature, especially a book like The Red and the Black, which is full of intense emotions and ambition. I hope to convey all that excitement as we continue our journey through this captivating story together. Thank you for bringing so much energy to our community. Okay, let's explore the passionate and utterly forbidden relationship between Julien Sorel and Madame d'Arnaud in The Red and the Black. Madame d'Arnaud is portrayed as a virtuous and pious woman, contented with her life as the wife of the mayor and mother to her children. She lives a quiet, provincial existence, untouched by deep passion or intellectual stimulation. However, when Julien enters her household as a tutor, his striking looks, intelligence, and intense ambition immediately capture our attention. For Julien, his initial pursuit of Madame d'Arnal is not purely out of love. It's a calculated move to conquer a woman of a higher social standing, a test of his own will and a step in his ambitious climb. He sees it as a challenge, a way to prove his power over the very class he resents. But as their relationship develops, it evolves into a genuine, albeit dangerous love affair. Madame d'Arnal, for her part, experiences a profound awakening of emotions she never knew she possessed. For Julien, despite his calculating nature, he finds himself deeply affected by her pure affection and tenderness. This illicit romance is fraught with incredible tension, social taboos, and the constant threat of exposure, which only adds to its intensity. It's truly a complex and electrifying part of the story. Alright, let's delve into the fascinating and often ambiguous question that lies at the heart of Julien's relationship with Madame d'Arnal and the Maiden Noble. Was it true love, or merely a calculated tool for social climbing? You see, for Julien, these two motivations are incredibly intertwined. At first, his pursuit of Madame d'Arnal is certainly a strategic move. He approaches it with the precision of a military campaign, fueled by his ambition and the desire to conquer a woman from the upper class. It's a way for him to prove his worth, to defy his humble origins, and to take a tangible step up the social ladder. He genuinely feels a sense of triumph and power in this conquest. However, as their affair deepens, things become much more complex. Madame d'Arnal's pure and unconditional affection, her tenderness and adoration, genuinely touch Julien. Despite his cynical and calculating nature, he finds himself experiencing emotions he hadn't anticipated. He becomes truly fond of her, and perhaps, in his own way, even loves her. But here's the crucial part: even when genuine affection exists, his ambition never truly disappears. It's always simmering beneath the surface. He constantly analyzes his own feelings and actions, questioning whether he is truly in love or merely playing a role. This internal conflict is a constant source of tension for him. His desires for love and social advancement are often at odds, yet they also feed into each other. For Julien, love can be a means to an end, but it can also become an end in itself, complicating his carefully laid plans. It's this beautiful, agonizing ambiguity that makes their relationship so incredibly compelling. Alright, let's move into the second part of the Red and the Black and Julien Sorel's next strategic move, his time at the seminary. After the scandal and burlesque, Julien is forced to leave and decides to pursue a career in the church. The seminary appears to be his only viable path for social advancement. But oh, what a change of environment it is! At the seminary, Julien attempts to adapt by adopting a facade of extreme piety and humility. He studies diligently, memorizing biblical verses and theological doctrines with his incredible memory. He tries to appear devout, aiming to impress the right people and climb the ecclesiastical ladder. This is a masterclass in calculated performance from Julien. However, despite his intellectual brilliance and his efforts to conform, Julien finds himself an outsider. He's too intelligent, too ambitious, and too genuinely contemptuous of the petty intrigues and the intellectual mediocrity of many of his fellow seminarians and instructors. His true nature, his burning desire for glory, and his Napoleonic spirit clash violently with the hypocritical, stifling atmosphere of the seminary. This period is marked by significant setbacks for Julien. His intelligence, which was an asset elsewhere, is often seen as arrogance or a threat here. He struggles to truly fit in, and his attempts at strategy often backfire due to his inability to fully suppress his true self. He feels a profound sense of isolation and frustration, realizing that this path, while offering a semblance of upward mobility, might not be the glorious one he truly yearns for. It's a fascinating struggle between his ambition and his authentic self. Alright everyone, let's continue our journey with Julien Sorel as he makes his next audacious move in the red and the black. After his frustrating and largely unsuccessful stint at the seminary, Julien is given a lifeline position as secretary to the highly influential Marquis de la Mole in Paris. This is a monumental shift for him. It's a completely new stage, a different kind of battlefield for his ambitions, and it takes him right into the heart of Parisian high society. Imagine the contrasts. From the stuffy, hypocritical atmosphere of the seminary, he's plunged into the glittering, sophisticated, and equally treacherous world of aristocratic salons and political intrigue. This is exactly the kind of environment Julien craves, a place where his sharp intellect and cunning can truly shine. As the Marquis's secretary, Julien is exposed to powerful figures, political machinations, and the inner workings of the elite. He must navigate this new landscape with extreme caution and calculated charm. He learns to master the art of discreet observation, political maneuvering, and presenting himself as a refined, indispensable member of the household. This role represents a massive step up for Julien. It's a direct entry into the upper echelons of society, offering him opportunities for advancement far beyond anything he could have dreamed of in Paris or the seminary. It's a world where his intellectual abilities, which were once almost a hindrance, become a significant asset. This is where his true strategic genius can begin to unfold, and where he encounters the next pivotal figure in his tumultuous life. Oh, the tension is just building, isn't it? Oh, now we come to the incredibly intense and complex relationship between Julien and Mathilde de la Mole in the red and the black. Mathilde is the Marquis's proud and intellectual daughter, a woman of sharp wit and immense boredom with the superficial idea of aristocratic world. She initially dismisses Julien, but his intelligence, his fierce ambition, and his refusal to conform to her class's expectations slowly captivate her. For Mathilde, Julien represents a living embodiment of the romantic, heroic figures from her family's past, a stark contrast to the dull, conventional men around her. Their affair is a tumultuous dance of pride, strategy, and passion. Unlike Madame de Renal's pure affection, this love is a constant battle of wills and a dangerous game of conquest. Julien is drawn to aristocratic allure and the power she represents, seeing her as the ultimate trophy in his social ascent. Mathilde in turn is fascinated by his audacious spirit and the danger he embodies. It's a fiery, almost intellectual romance, fueled by mutual fascination and a desire to defy societal norms, which makes it absolutely captivating. Oh, the climax! This is where everything explodes in the red and the black. We arrive at the shocking moment of 2 gunshots. Why did Julien pull the trigger? It's utterly heartbreaking. After all his efforts to climb the social ladder, Julien receives a devastating letter from Madame de Renal, denouncing him to the Marquis de la Mole and threatening his entire future. This letter, dictated by her confessor, paints him as a cold, manipulative opportunist. For Julien, it's the ultimate betrayal, not just of his affections, but of his very being. He feels utterly cornered, his ambition destroyed by the very forces he tried to conquer. In a surge of raw, impulsive rage and despair, born from a lifetime of resentment against the hypocrisy of the aristocratic world, he confronts Madame de Renal and fires at her. It's a desperate, defiant act, a complete breakdown of his calculated facade, and it changes everything. Now, let's discuss the powerful and unforgettable moment of Julien's trial in the red and the black. After his desperate act, Julien doesn't try to save himself with elaborate lies or pleas for mercy. Instead, he uses the courtroom as his final stage, delivering a dramatic, defiant speech that is absolutely crucial to understanding his character and Stendhal's message. He doesn't just defend Ems. He turns his trial into an indictment of the very society that bred him. He openly declares that he is a commoner, a man of humble birth who dared to rise, and that his true crime in the eyes of the aristocracy is not the shooting itself, but his ambition to breach their closed ranks. He exposes the hypocrisy and injustice of the class system, asserting that he is being judged not for his actions, but for who he is and where he came from. This speech is Julien's ultimate act of rebellion, his final assertion of dignity. It's not a plea for acquittal, but a powerful, almost suicidal challenge to the established order. It's his way of throwing all his accumulated resentment and frustration back at the privileged class. This moment truly solidifies the novel as a profound social commentary, not just a love story. His words resonate with such fiery passion, even to this day. Oh, the unforgettable and truly shocking ending of The Red and the Black. After his powerful speech and deliberate refusal to appeal, Julien Sorel is ultimately sentenced to death and calmly faces his execution. It's a tragic, yet defiant end to his ambitious journey, where he finally finds a strange sort of peace in escaping the hypocrisy of society. But what about the two women who loved him? Madame Diarna, who was only wounded by Julien's shots, never truly recovers. Her love for him was pure and profound, and she dies shortly after his execution, her heart broken by his loss. Marguerite Guillemot, on the other hand, reacts with an almost macabre, romantic intensity. Instead of despair, she finds a twisted sense of heroism in Julien's fate. She idolizes him, retrieves his severed head, and gives him a burial fitting a romantic hero. It's an incredibly dramatic and poignant conclusion, highlighting the vastly different ways these two women loved Julien and how his life and death profoundly impacted them. Alright, let's explore one of the absolute core strengths of Stendhal's The Red and the Black, his incredible mastery of psychological portrayal. This is precisely why Stendhal is often called the father of psychological novel. He doesn't just tell us what his characters, he plunges deep into their minds, revealing their every thought, their motivations, their self-deceptions, and their hidden desires. He meticulously dissects the complex inner world of Julien Sorel, showing us his calculating ambition, his pride, his vulnerability, and his genuine, if often conflicted, affections. This is especially evident in the nuanced depiction of his romantic relationships. Stendhal brilliantly explores the subtle shifts in emotion, the power dynamics, and the psychological games played between Julien and both Madame Diarna and Mathilde. He shows us how love, ambition, and ego are inextricably linked. It's truly revolutionary how he portrays these internal struggles, making the characters feel incredibly real and relatable, even 2 centuries later. Beyond its incredible psychological depth, The Red and the Black is also a brilliant social novel, a searing critique of 19th century French society. Stendhal holds a mirror up to the post-Napoleonic era, exposing the rigid class distinctions, the hypocrisy of the aristocracy, and the moral compromises required to navigate such a world. Julien Sorel's entire journey is a struggle against these societal barriers. He's a commoner with the soul of a nobleman, trying to make his way in a world that denies opportunity based on birth. The novel vividly portrays the power of the church and the aristocracy after the Bourbon Restoration, where talent and merit, once celebrated under Napoleon, are now suppressed. It's not just a love story, it's a powerful class struggle novel, as I mentioned, showing how individuals like Julien are forced to adopt red or black to survive and thrive. This makes it incredibly insightful and relevant. Alright everyone, as we wrap up our deep dive into Stendhal's magnificent novel The Red and the Black, let's bring all these incredible threads together. What an unforgettable journey it's been through Julien Sorel's ambitious and turbulent life. We've seen how this brilliant young man, fueled by Napoleonic dreams, navigates a rigid 19th century French society defined by class and hypocrisy. This isn't just a simple love story. It's a profound exploration of ambition, social climbing, and the psychological complexities of a man caught between his desires and the harsh realities of his time. Stendhal's genius lies in his exquisite psychological detail and his sharp and incisive social commentary, which remain incredibly powerful and relevant even today. Julien's struggle, his triumphs, and ultimately his tragic fate challenge us to consider the true cost of ambition and the enduring power of individual will against societal constraints. What a masterpiece! Well everyone, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Stendhal's incredible masterpiece, The Red and the Black. It has been such an absolute joy to share my passion for this book with all of you today. Your comments and engagement make these streams so much fun, and I truly appreciate you joining me on this literary adventure. I hope you've enjoyed exploring Julien Sorel's work, his ambitions, and the fascinating complexities of 19th century France as much as I have. If you loved this stream, please do hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more book discussions. I stream every Saturday and Sunday at 11 AM in English, and Sundays at 10 PM in Japanese, so I hope to see you all again very soon. Thank you all so much, and bye bye!